Greetings, groovy people! Welcome to the channel. I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon. This week we're going to be doing something with watercolors. This is an art-related channel. I primarily talk about my free, not safe for work webcomic Dark Horse. The links are down in the description. It is rated M for mature. This channel's for adults also. I target an adult audience. But this week I'm not going to be focusing on Dark Horse. I'm actually working on the Comic Fury Zine, which is a free comics anthology that is created by a bunch of artists and independent writers over on Comic Fury. I'm on the team and I kind of do a lot of the design background setup in the InDesign document. And what I'm doing this week is just kind of experimenting with what I would like to have maybe in the background of the pages of Comic Fury Zine. The theme for our first zine, it's in dreams, which is safe for work. It will be for a general audience. And the winner for the cover art contest was BustryLaroo. I'm going to show you what the cover art was that won. This art belongs to her, even though we are using it. She maintains ownership of the art, much like everything within the zine that is contributed by different members of the community. Art is retained by the artist. We use it for the free zine. This is non-for-profit. It's primarily to help connect readers with new artists and comics found on Comic Fury. It's also a great way for comickers to work on brevity and, writing and creating short stories, just kind of challenging themselves to do shorter works. There's just a lot of good things that come from working collaboratively on zines and projects like this. So that's kind of like the idea behind the Comic Fury Zine. We want to promote indie artists, we want to get readers to those artists, and we want to have just an all-around fun community zine that people can contribute to in different ways. We also have people contribute that are not artists or are not writers. We have a vote for the cover art contest, so maybe people on the community are there as readers, maybe they're not going to be contributing artwork to the zine. They can still participate by voting on the cover and reading and spreading the word of Comic Fury Zine. So what I'm doing this week is a little bit out of my element. That's kind of been like the theme of some of my more recent videos, just because I got work to do. I got to get shit done so that I can get back to Dark Horse, but I also want it to look good. And I am in no way anywhere near as talented as the artist BustryLaroo, but I'm gonna have a stab, excuse me, at using watercolors to create something that may be used as the background design in the zine. Maybe this is going to turn out being complete and total garbage, and I won't use it at all. I'm going to kind of stumble through this and see what I can come up with. I'm going to first use a little bit of this watercolor paper to kind of test and try things out first. This is just Dick Blick watercolor. None of these brands are, like sponsoring me, obviously. But yeah, I just cut a couple pieces to kind of give these techniques a try. I'm gonna link down in the description, or maybe even in the iCards if you're watching this on YouTube, a video tutorial that I used to try to get an idea of how to produce this drip technique, this look with watercolor. And I'm just using Prang watercolors. I guess these are professional. I don't know. I've just had them for years. I don't even remember when I got these or why I got them, but I've had them forever. I don't use them very often. I'm also using my little watercolor tray, which no one ever sees because I never do watercolor. I'm going to be using these synthetic brushes that I've had since college. I use this a lot whenever I'm doing ink washes and stuff like that. This I don't really use very much at all, but I really like the sharp edge. Is this like an angled brush or a wedge brush? I can't remember, but this is like an ovular one. My water is also here and present and accounted for. And maybe when everything dries, I'm going to try to copy off a Busty style and use some of these Jelly Roll Sakura pens. Sorry that I tried to fix the lighting in here. I've got my windows closed, so I hope that the lighting is okay. But let's go ahead, and what I want to do first is, I'm kind of crazy. I do want to kind of sketch what I want to try, because as you notice, and I'll do like maybe I'll do a split screen so that you can see BustryLaroo's cover that she made. She's got this really cool like slipstream thing going on. So I'm gonna like try. What I want is, I want this to be drippy. But this is going to be like I forget the technique, if it's wet on wet. I think maybe that's what it's called. That's what I'm trying to do. And then I'm just going to kind of have that come over here. So that's kind of my idea. We can swatch our colors. So when I say fuchsia, I think it's like actually like red violet is what I'm going to use. Okay, so let's swatch this. I've got blue, turquoise, red violet, and violet. These are actually some of my favorite colors anyway. I mean, Blue Dragon, but I also always really kind of like this color combo as like a kid. And what the hell, let's also swatch, what color is that? Blue Violet, just to see what it looks like. I might not use this. I don't think I use this color very much at all. You know, I'm sorry everyone, my camera is hot garbage. I don't know what to say. My camera and my lighting setup, I really need to find some time to look up how to do this better. But those are my swatches. So I'm going to lift this up a little bit. So this is very wet, and I'm even gonna see if I can do a little bit of dripping. Oh, that's far out, man. Oh shit. Oh my god, I'm awful. Mostly dripping that way, but I want to encourage a little bit more drip. So what I'm going to do is and I also really want to let it, I'm going to let some of this dry, but I'm going to manufacture a little bit of drip. Alrighty, okay, this is dried pretty well. So I'm going to try to add another color. But I'm starting with a little bit of water. Yeah, I know that's going to reactivate some of it, but that's why I'm doing this test. It's very hard to do this and not touch part of the paper. So what I think I'll do is I'll leave like a bit of a margin that I can put my hands on, because that's not gonna work otherwise. So I'm gonna be back in a couple minutes. Let's get some paper ready. I think I have an idea. I think I got the gist of it. I will do better this time. I have the idea down. So, we'll be back. Okay, so I've measured this out 5.5 by 7.75 inches on either end. It's inches. That's actually the size of the zine prior to having the bleed cut off of it. So I had a little bit of time taking a look at the original artwork by BustryLaroo, and I have an idea on how I want to do this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do a wash of just water, and I'm going to just have everything in the background be fuchsia. I'm going to learn from what I feel was a mistake on that other test sheet of paper. Make sure it's all nice and wet. I am just going to use the red violet. I keep calling it fuchsia. I mean, it looks fuchsia to me. I'm sure it's a little bit different, but whatever. Now, obviously, since this is just paper, it's buckling a little bit, but I don't really mind that too awful much. I will wash my brushes out in a better manner a little bit later. Okay, now I'm gonna let this dry. So, let's... Okay, that seems pretty dry. So, we're going to do some more water. I'm going to try something different from last time in that I'm going to try to do most of my drip stuff like now. I'm going to do this. I really like authentic looking drippies. But, oh no, going down off my page. But maybe for a little bit more control, let's, I'm going to use, I usually just use this for ink, but I clean it out fairly well, so this is just the blue. And I know that I'm making a couple artificial drips, but that's okay. I'm gonna dip into my turquoise now. I need to blend this, that's why I want the turquoise. Oh my gosh, this is so fun, even though it probably doesn't look that great. It's very fun. I'm kind of curious. She kind of darkened. I'm going to throw up what the image looks like again. She kind of darkens some of it around the drips a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit of the blue violet. Again, I'm not very good at watercolors at all, and I'm not entirely certain what kind of techniques she uses, but she being BustryLaroo. But boy howdy, if I can do this and have a little bit of fun and learn some new things, that's kind of cool. I'm going to kind of blend that a little bit, and then this will go. I probably should have gone from left to right, but I'm not thinking very straight today. We're gonna pull some of that color up into here because I don't want it to go too far down. Now, just to add a little bit of variety, I'm just using, I added a little bit more of that fuchsia, or red violet. I'm gonna just keep calling it fuchsia. And then I'm gonna let this dry again, and then I'm gonna add a little bit more dark blue, just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and let this dry, and we'll be back once more. Okay, so I decided I wanted to try adding a little bit of depth with some colored pencils. This is just a myriad of various brands. I just tried to find some colors that kind of match this, but I want to see what it looks like. This is actually really cool looking, actually. Yeah, this, whatever this brand is, it doesn't even have a name. It's not doing shit. That's kind of doing something. You can kind of see. And then if I wanted to add a little bit more. Okay, so it just barely shows up, which is kind of cool because then it won't overpower. Oh god, that one's falling out. What is this? Artist Loft? Why am I not surprised? That's their lavender. Let's see what Crayola's maroon looks like. Ooh, that's way too dark. Okay, so some of these will show up. So this is completely dry now. You know, usually I'm all for generic of anything, but let me tell you, I've had so much trouble with these Artist Loft. And then what's this? This is Crayola. Is it the exact same? Did I grab 2 of the same? Yes. Alright, let's add a tiny bit of depth to this. Depth. I don't even know if what I'm doing is making a difference. She said, as though speaking about her life. Well, yeah, I don't even know if I need to do this. This is kind of... It was an experiment. It's pointless. Let's move on to the... Let's move on to this. This is the fun part. I'm going to start with the Sakura gel pens. Number 8. Size 8. I have it on my list to read Angels of the Fallen. I've actually had it on my list for a while. I've got a massive list. But the art is just really, really cool. And I think she's an artist to keep a lookout for. Her stuff. Because I think that she is, you know, she's got a definitely interesting technique. That clearly I can't replicate. But, you know, we all got to do our own thing, right? But also, you know, I think it might be an interesting story. And it seems up my alley. So I will put a link to her comic down in the description. There were other contestants for the cover art contest, and we will be putting their cover art in the zine for you to take a look at so you can see. And if you like that person's art, and even if you don't necessarily like the cover, I do think that you should check out the comics and see if it's something that you like. I need to have like some kind of reason and rhyme to this. I don't want to overdo it. Sometimes exercising a little bit of restraint is a good thing. A little goes a long way. I am liking this though. I think I'm gonna probably be done here in a minute. And then I'm gonna see how well this works, you know, with the zine. If I like it, is it that lavender? If I like it, then maybe I'll have it at a lowered opacity. Well, I think that looks okay. So, yeah, I think this was kind of a cool technique to give a go. Let's do a side-by-side. Obviously, hers is way better than mine, but I'm just trying to make sure that the inside matches the outside. And this is kind of what I came up with, so I think it might look okay. I need to stop. I need to stop piddling. You get to that point where you're just piddling. Well, I do want to add a little bit more here, though. Okay, let's call that done. Thanks for watching. New subscribers, welcome. Thank you for subbing. If you like what you see, good. I'm glad. I won't ask anything of you unless you want to like help out by liking and whatever. Peace and love. Fare you well and keep on trucking. And love. Shit, this fucking tape.